Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, a warrior who has never seen battle, a group of dwarven architects, home renovations, monster habitats, and manga releases. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 551. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing well out there and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. And if you're watching on YouTube or listening to us at spiraken.com or on Apple TV or wherever you are looking, remember to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the review of the week. Because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it dictated on to be there reviewing let's get to this weird fantasy manga that was written by Hidenori Yamaji and published by Shogakukan and brought over here by Seven Seas Entertainment. It was released in Shonen Sunday S in 2021, and it is still coming out to this day. There are currently 3 volumes. It is not complete yet. It is a fantasy adventure story, which is a shonen, and its original title was Soara to Mamono no Le, or in English it translates to Soara and the House of Monsters. This is a manga which deals with many things. The world of fantasy creatures, architecture, and finding one's place in the world. Because, like with most good fairy tales and fantasy stories, this starts off with a little bit of a once upon a time. That once upon a time, safety, peace of mind, and everyday comforts are what everyone wanted in the world. But that's not something that only humans want as well. Also, monsters want this. And this is what the story is about, that monsters want to live in a place that they feel safe and happy and healthy in. And this is a story about monsters finding their place in the world, but they are not the main characters. Our main character is a young lady named Soara. And Soara was an orphan who was raised up from when she was a child to fight monsters. She is a soldier in the king's army, and she is the greatest warrior of all time. She is going to be the most legendary monster hunter of all time. She has studied from when she was a small child to her current age to become the best that she could be. There is only one small problem. The day she is going to emerge and become this monster hunter, the king tells her that the war is over, that monsters have decided to not attack us anymore, and they've agreed to a peace treaty, so we can celebrate and have a relaxing time. What does this mean for Soara? Well, it means that Soara pretty much has nothing to do, and the king's like, you know what? You'll be fine. Go relax, have fun, be with your family. The problem is that she doesn't have a family. She doesn't know how to have fun. She has spent her entire life training to be one of the greatest killers of all time, and she is now homeless. So she ends up walking through the land just trying to find her place in the world. Until one day, as she is searching, she finds a cave that she's going to stay in during one night and hears some weird noises and sees 2 weird creatures and 3 other creatures approaching this cave. These 3 creatures are dwarves, the greatest architects in the world, and they have been commissioned by the current residents of the cave, a group of goblins, to fix it. We have the leader of these dwarves, Kirik, who is the greatest architect in the monster world. We have Gansho, his muscle, who is this very large, strong man. And then there's Nico. Nico is the thinner, more clever and fast member of their group. And they fix houses. And how do they fix these houses? Well, they talk to their clients and find out what the problem is with their house and take an estimate and find out what they would like and what they wouldn't like. For example, with these goblins, they have a very unsanitary lifestyle. They don't wear a lot of clothes and they're in a dusty cave. So how can we fix this? Well, on the one hand, there's food scraps all over the floor. There's spiky things that could hurt them. So we need to repair and fix all of this. And what do? They end up taking the entire cave apart and rebuilding it into an amazing home for these goblins. A home which is in the 3,000-year tree, and it is designed meticulously for the clients at hand. We're talking about the fact that the floor has moss that will eat the garbage that they're in. They need a little bit of light, so the tree that they've implanted in the middle of this home absorbs water and turns it into light. Then to top it off, The floors are squishy and comfortable so they can't stab themselves, and it's a really nice home. It protects them from the elements and looks easy and homey. One little problem. Because all of the debris has been taken off of the floor, it is freezing because they're on a mountain. So they need to fix this. What can they do? Well, they're going to do some more renovating, and Soara, who's been watching this, ends up trying to engage and find out what is going on. And they're confused as to why a human is trying to assist with them. And due to some reasons, she ends up helping them create a home for these monsters and fixes it using a very unique method, which is they get heating in the home in a weird way. And she ends up joining this group of dwarves as they deal with different clients, building different housing situations and or job situations. And that's what the story is about. I mean, we have tons of really cool designs for these. I mean, we have a home for griffins. We have a home for a slime. Well, first off, it used to live in a skull, and then it ends up living in a super pipe dream, which it can go super fast because slimes are really slow, but they can slide on smooth surfaces. So they make this huge, really cool environment for the slime. Then another one is one which is really trippy, which is, well, I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But it focuses on all these different homes and makes them look really cool and designs them in unique ways. And as we read this first volume, we see that slowly Soara is being chipped away slowly, the hard exterior, and she's realizing that everyone deserves a home. Everyone deserves to be happy and relax, and she ends up helping her friends and helping these creatures find the home that they need. And later on, she is going to help to do the best she can to help these architects do the best they can while learning the most about herself and learning how to work fine on her own. And she also learns to appreciate these creatures that she had been trained to kill and realize that all things need to live. It is a wonderful story. That is one that actually puts a big smile on my face. And let's be honest, it is one which I love the art style for because, I mean, we see Soara in the beginning, her in her official military uniform, which is very different than how she looks originally, because you see her like this, and on the cover we see that she's going to become someone who's carrying all the different tools because she learns how to use the tools and work on them. And there are little things like there's a moment where she makes her first piece of architecture, and Kirik's like, yeah, you know, it's lazy, doesn't look great, but you're part of something. And she's like, oh my God, I made something that's helping someone. And it's part of someone's home. And it gives her a little bit of joy. And we get joy as we're watching this. Now, do not worry. This is about it after the end of a war, but there are things that are showing up that are doing evil things. I'm not going to spoil too much because there's only 3 volumes out, or only 1 volume out right now. But by volume 2, something has been introduced, which is making things a little worse. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But the narrative is well done in this. The art style is unique. It's an architect's dream because they take into consideration so many little elements. Like, for example, in order to make sure that the slime is clean, they designed a filtration system. So when the slime is launched from over here through a catapult, don't ask, into the filtration system, there's a bunch of rocks and roots that will filter out all the crap that is on the slime, so it will be completely clean when it gets into its house and not dirty the house. But more importantly, that all the debris is sucked down into an area where all the refuge is used to make some mushrooms that the slime can eat. It's very well thought out. I love the fact that it's thought out so well. And, well, the characters are fun, the art style is great, and it is a fun adventure story. Now, is this for everybody? Well, if you like slice of life stories, or if you like a story with a little bit of magic, a little bit of weirdness, you're going to like this. This feels like a very relaxing story at first, and then it gets interesting when we get the introduction of some of the more dark elements. There is a lot going on in this, and, well, I can't wait to read more, and I think that you won't either. So, for that reason, I have to give this our highest rating, once again, of really, really cool. Read it now. It is worth reading. It is a great adventure story. It's a great action story. It's a fun story, and it does something a little bit different than the usual, oh, it's the greatest hero of all time, because the main characters are not the hero. The hero is someone who just doesn't know what she's doing. She's trying to find her way in life. And I love that fact. And if you've read this before, or you've never read it before, let me know what your thoughts are. You can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan at Spiraken.com, or you could tweet me at Spiraken and let me know your thoughts on if you thought this was a great concept, if you hated this, or if you just have no interest in it at all, let me know. And before I go any further, I got to ask you that random question of the week. And this is actually a really good one. And the random question of the week is going to be very simple. It's something which works and fits through every single one of us because it's a really important part of it. And what am I talking about? Well, very simply, if you could have your ideal house, what would it look like? What would you want in your ideal house? Would you want an elevator, a secret library? What would you want? Like me personally, Greta and I, we want to have a hidden door in our apartment, in our house. We want to have that secret door where you have to hit a specific thing and it'll open up in our library, which is kind of cool. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Who knows? But that'll happen one day, maybe. We're going to have to wait and see, though. But with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week. And we've got some really fun ones this week. So starting off from the top, we've got, start from there, we have A Brief Moment of Ichika, Volume 1, Boruto, Naruto Next Generation, Volume 19, By the Grace of the Gods, Volume 10, Cinderella Closet, Volume 5, Fairy Tale Omnibus 3, which is Volume 7 of 9 of the original series, How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, Volume 14. Now we're getting into dance moves, which is really cool. I love this series so much. It is so dumb, but I love it. Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Volume 28, and I believe this is the final volume, if I'm not mistaken. Give me 1 second, I'll tell you. I believe this is the final chapter of the series, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry about this, I just wanted to make sure and know if this is the correct final chapter or not, and it actually is the final chapter, so we're going to finally find out if Kaguya and her love get together, or who will say it first. You can see. But next, we have Kimi ni Todoki, From Me to You, Soulmates Volume 1. This is a spin-off of Kimi no Todoki, which we reviewed all the way back in single digits. That was Volume 2 of the series. This manga review, we reviewed it. Then we have The Kingdom of Ruin, Volume 8, Malevolent Spirits Monogatari, Volume 6, Marriage Toxin, Volume 2, Momo the Blood Taker, Volume 8, Moriarty the Patriot, Volume 15, Nagahama To Be or Not to Be, Volume 1, Neighborhood Story, Volume 2, Please Go Home, Miss Akutsu, Volume 5, Quality Insurance in Another World, Volume 7, Rainbow Days, Volume 9, Raven of the Inner Palace, the Light Novel, Volume 5, Sakamoto Days 11, Skip Beat, Volume 49, Sodome Milky Way, Volume 9, Timon's B-Side, Volume 3, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the Omnibus. Now this is going to be compiling Volumes 1 through 3 of the series. Then we have Tokyo Revengers Omnibus, Volumes 19 to 20. Trapped in a Dating Sim, Otome Games Are Tough for Us Too, the Light Novel, Volume 1. This is focusing from the point of view of the super hot, pretty rich characters in the series. Nice little spin on this. Then we have Tying the Knot with an Anagami Sister, Volume 4. Victoria's Electric Coffin, Volume 1. Welcome to Demon School, Iramakun, Volume 7. World's End Harem, Fantastia, Volume 11. And then last and certainly not least, we have Yakuza Fiancé, Rise wa Tanin Gail, Volume 7. So these are the manga releases for the week. We've got some really great ones, some really terrible ones. Which are the ones you're most excited about? Let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. For me personally, my top 5 for this week are going to be A Brief Moment of Ichika, Volume 1. I have not heard anything about this series, but it actually looks really fascinating. Kimi ni Todoki, I like the original series, and this sequel, Soulmate, looks promising. Nagahama To Be or Not to Be, Volume 1. There was a little bit of buzz on this in a couple places, so I'm going to check this out. Then Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. This series has been a surprise, addictive story to me, and I really want to see where it goes next. But I digress. And last and certainly not least, we have Victoria's Electric Coffin, which is about a vampire who has an electric coffin. Kind of cool, kind of depressing, but could be a lot of fun. We have to wait and see on how that goes. But again, I digress. So with that in mind, before we go any further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get lets me know that you guys care and you want to keep hearing more of these awesome reviews. So I'm going to keep doing this as long as I can till I'm an old man who has to read manga with thick glasses and, more importantly, read large print manga. Also, as I said, I will not be going to Anime Boston this year, unfortunately, which is a shame, but yeah, it is what it is. I didn't go this year, and well, yeah. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode, and with that in mind, let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for, the most popular part of this podcast. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, accept no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the Wheel of Manga. Whatever number it lands on, that's what I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 552. Can you believe it? 552. We are getting there. So let's spin and see what we're going to review in the next episode. I am very excited. We're going to see what happens. So let's see. And hopefully not 1 or 5. No 1 or 5. Something different. Come on, 3. Come on, a 3. Let's see something else. A 3 or a 7. Or a 6. Something. Anything. That is hysterical. It still lands on a 2. It's like, no matter what, it's going to be on that exact 10. So I'm going to move to 3 for next week. And we're going to see what happens. But for this week, we're going to be reviewing Nina the Starry Bride. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out. But, as usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzo. Catch you guys next time. And keep reading manga. I will see you